Right. I'm a little tired, but this video is going to happen. This video is going to happen. I get a call, a transcendental call, to do my little bit. And this is what it is. This is my little bit. I'm not no master. I'm not a spiritual master. I'm not a spiritual guru. I claim nothing. Because this is a reality of nothing. So I don't embellish through my egoic endeavours a title or I don't masquerade what just is with any title, because that title should come to you through your altruistic, selfless acts. Obviously, not selfless in a sense of reckless. There's a distinction. There's definitely a distinction. But I mean altruistic. So you've already served you, and the you that you think has been transcended. So now you're serving for itself, as they say, of itself. So in Muslim Sufism, which found me, I didn't choose it, but I'm not going to use Islamic terminologies because it's not for the collective. It excludes. So, but I must say that in its original form is Arabic or Sanskrit, because these languages are prophetic like, so everything makes more sense within that domain, that paradigm, because it's more luminescent and it's more abbreviated and it's more like an arrow. It doesn't go around the houses, it's very simplistic. But for the sake of YouTubers, I want to be inclusive, so not use this. I am a Sufi. I don't choose this, it kept choosing me, and the more I resisted, it had the antithesis and drove me more in. So it's meant to be. So I will use only terms, but it is becoming a habit to use these terms, but I'll try not to, okay? Anyways, I don't claim nothing. I'm not, yes, Sufism found me, but I don't go around saying this. You cannot do this, because we are just spirit, and that animate essence is making this form to be what it is. But it's inverted. So anyway, so I am not your guru, I am not your leader, I am nothing. I do this because I can. I make this video because I can. And it's for fun, it's a hobby. Just checking how much time I've got in this video. Yeah, it's okay. So I do this because it's a hobby, and just because I can, again, for the sake of itself. So that's why I go. That's why it gets done. But I don't do this because it's I'm not saying that there is a way. I'm not saying that there is just one way, okay? There's many paths, but it does lead to the same road. It's one avenue, it's one runway that makes you to fly. But I'm not here to do that, because then that will be perceived in a coercive manner, forceful, compulsory. No, not at all. So anyways, this is done because it can be done. Take it or leave it. Take it or leave it. As long as you synthesize some things from this, and synthesize that, and then reflect that synthesization back into your reality. Well, the reality. There is no you. That is the doer of what this is. And this is what this video is going to be about. That you are not the doer. And it just came. Again, it's a transmission from the divine abode, God, if you will, the ultimate absolute. And the practices I do are to completely negate all philosophical, all educational notions that we have contracted, and within our neural network, becoming a chronic sense of static sensation of what you are. All them things, all my practices I do in Sufism was to completely negate them affects that have been put within us, that have consolidated themselves around our self-identities that are a complete fallacy. So, this video is about that you are not the doer of this. And it's very simplistic. But we don't want to let go. We don't want to be it. We don't want to be it. There's nothing for you to do. It is just it. And it is an automated emanation that you are supposed to ride the wave of. Well, to rehabitualize, to recalibrate, in order to ride the wave of what it is. But then the wave also implies you surfing it. So they are conjugal. You can't even say that, because that means they are married. That means there's two components to be married. It is the converged. It is what it is. And we're not doing that. So because we have polarized it, these two polarity perceptions and duality perception, what does that do? When two things rub together, there is friction. There is fire. There is instability. It's not stabilized. So then it cannot be a funnel, a clear funnel of the conduit of the divine to see clearly what it is with transparency. So it will always result in uncertainty. And uncertainty, what does this breed? All symptomatic effects of uncertainty or anxiety, stress, anger Because we're trying to grasp. You cannot grasp something that you cannot grasp the wind with your mind. It just is the wind. And the wind implies what your mind is. And it implies what your whole anatomy is an expression of. Not even to put it in that word. You're an atomic expression. Okay? In the beginning was Adam, the atom, the initiation of this projection. And let me use inclusive terms. It's like a simulation, like a computer game. And they call it the Matrix. There's an original Matrix. The word Ma, I think, is cognate to Ma, like mother, flesh. The conceiving energy. The one that's a recipient to the seed propagated. And then tricks, matrix, at mathematics too. Mathematics is also cognate to mathematics, which is all feminine energy. We don't know feminine energy. We do have philosophies on it, but that's completely erroneous. It holds no water. We don't know feminine energy. Also, if we knew feminine energy, we would be working with this. So because the feminine energy we don't know, the masculine gets distorted too, as a mirror. It's very simple things. But the keys to the matrix are being lost. They're hidden. They are cryptic. And they need illuminating. Because the covenant of the divine will illuminate it. And then all the knowledge will start to come to you. Once you say, I am the being of it, not the doer, then it will come to you. Because then you will not be, once you say there is a you, what happens? It occludes it. Occlusion is blockage because you're filling the 360, the 0, with a you, a 1, thinking you're doing it. So it will not be able to mirror itself through its original divine personality. We all have a divine personality once you submit. It begins to show itself, and it's more conducive because it's not contaminated with the false sense of self. It no longer develops certain propensities corresponding to what it wants for its validation. It's just natural, it's clean, it's neutral, it's generative. When you've got knowledge, you no longer want to say it all at once anymore in a conversation. You let it piece itself together. And whatever is has any pertinence, to that particular topic or subject, which is relevance, you will cultivate some wisdom when you submit. Wisdom is refined and crystalline and is always appropriated to that scenario, not knowledge. Knowledge and scholarship and all that stuff, it's very unstable. You have to be adept at retaining, but what you retain, it holds no nourishment for nobody. It's static, and it's like you're shooting somebody with a firearm. It's too much, it's too inundating, and the person will drown, not swim, because it has no pertinence to what they're experiencing. Because the knowledge is not yours, remember. Not who you think you are anyway. It's just the knowledge of itself. Another topic I had too is nature. When we say nature, what do you think? You think trees, birds, animals, nature. What else is nature? You say that in your mind. What else is nature? You. You are what it is. Without you, without there being your presence, this wouldn't be. So you see, again, we externalize it. We think it is something other, an objective to what we are. That loving feeling you feel in nature, that receptivity, that subtleties, the subtleties of it, the deep integration with that maternalistic, motherly, beautiful energy that we are animate of, that we're animated, we are animating it. That what you feel is you. It's your heart. And it is the original matrix from the divine, mirroring this reality. But we have forgotten. Now there's another reality within that reality. There's a sub-reality within that matrix itself. That sub-reality that we have fractured the fractal expressions that we are emitting an emission of, so that we can't transmit from the divine anymore. So it's a translation through this emission of this experience to another self from another plane. We don't do that no more, because then another sub-reality is being created, so there's more division. And now that reality, within that reality, we have attributed our worth to, a sense of self. Now that one fractures us, but now we've associated ourselves with that, so we fail to see the original matrix of love, symbiosis, connection. These are all words, don't describe it, they don't put nothing to it. It's a deep sensation, and you know it, and it's not thought, and it's not philosophy, and it's not words, because words are a symptom of that sub-reality fracture of the original fractals, which we are. All this is confusing everybody. This tea's good. Honey and green tea. So, we look at this Unity gym. It's a charity gym that I go to. I don't like, because I don't want to give sustenance to the corporation. Because to them you're dead. Corpse, corporation, corpse, you're dead. You're a dead vessel. You're a live vessel. You're luminescent. You need to generate, not give. Not let them use you. All these commercialised gyms, corporations, it's a big web. But that's not my field to talk about. I say little bits, but mainly my field is love. And that will negate all of it. Wait, that don't even exist. It's not my field to intricately expound and talk about that area. I could go on for days, but it will bore you to death, because it has no provision for your soul. Some people are good at it. Leave them to that. It's not my field. I just know my little bit, and I want to refine it to wisdom, so that can be an emanation to you, to bring it back to its integration from its emanation. And then the whole field of that system, and all the corporations and all that, commodifying, making everything that you additional, that is not necessity to a commodity, so you are enticed by things that don't serve you. It will negate all that. You won't feed into it anymore. So yeah, unity, Jim. Solidarity. That's why I go there. There's we must do more of these things. Invest in them. Because I go pay, train there. They help me, mentor me. It's not about the training or your look, it's just a feeling, the solidarity, and the camaraderie, which we've all lost. I used to be into bodybuilding, but it didn't last because there's no camaraderie, there's nothing in it anymore. That's what I'm about. The body should be a symptom and a byproduct of the feeling that you all generate and produce. Like back in Arnold's day, they had so much charisma and they did so well, and they didn't look too disgusting, because that's just my subjective opinion, by the way. They looked like chiselled, mythological archetypes and that, or whatever. They look good. Because of the energy that they generated. There's none of that anymore. That's why I don't do it like I used to. There's none of it. It's not like that no more. And it is a shame, but it's like that collectively. So, yeah, we are now, all this video has been a prelude to what I was going to say about current affairs and this current situation. I don't even like to say the word, because the word contains an energy. But I want to say it's coronavirus, COVID, whatever. This coronavirus comes because of most of what I've talked about, not being in no solidarity between us, too much friction, no camaraderie, disorientation from that original state of us being in unison. So what happens is, when we don't listen to the heart and the divine abode, the stations, and them coordinates we're not receptive to transmit, to mirror the true reality, what does it create? The friction. Even when you have low vibrational intercourse, sex, there's transmitted diseases will spawn from that because it's friction. I'm not condemning it. It's a part of the inclusive phase expression of this plane. But all I'm saying is there's justice to everything. It's not just, oh, there's a virus and now let's try to contrive something on top. Let's try to contrive something on top of the thing that we contrived to begin with that created it. When there's no you to conjure up anything. That's what created it. The energy of the friction initiated it. And your actions, your deeds correspond to the virus that's mirroring what you are, what we are become collectively. It's that simple. I don't need to get metaphysical and esoteric. I can, and people can, again. Leave them to the field that are doing it. But there is a deep metaphysical reality, which meta is meta within internal, the unseen. There's deeper realities, and that depth makes this surface reality to be, what's the word for it, congruence, have congruence. And you take that depth away, you can't swim in shallow water, you can't breathe. When you're a whale, an aquatic animal, which was our origin, everything's a water reality, which has been another video if I do one, if I feel like it. But we are water beings. Big aquatic animals cannot flourish in shallow waters, they need depth. So we lose the depth, the surface is no fluidity, no flourishing, just surviving. And all this perception of survival is scarcity, domain, and it's a complete illusion. Everything is abundant. Everything is abundant. We have forgotten. Money does not create any of this. It was a trap. Money does not generate what God designed. It is the designed. There's no exterior God aloof from what you are. It is the designed. Designer, unfathomable to even be here to talk about it. Unfathomable. So, we must stop. We must recalibrate, and through that will then lead through that preliminary recognition to know more of what we are. It will enable us to see what is. And all you got to do is some spiritual practices to recalibrate. That's the first step. And then your actions will be in accordance with that calibration from the practices. They're not easy. But nothing in this realm worth having was meant to be easy. Because there wouldn't be a game, if so. If it was easy, then this wouldn't be. It wouldn't be a dual game. We're not exempt from the dual effect. We're not exempt from it. All of us are inclusive to it, and we all have to go through it. I have been the worst person, the worst character. The worst. Because what happens? It 360s and then it knows and consolidates more of the good in it. It's a part of the game. But this coronavirus, we are just going to exacerbate tenfold because we crave control. And it was always in submitting. That was the key to unlock. And there was never even a door. It was the emanation of the prophetic light, the stations of the luminescence that makes this water reality to flourish. But now it's fractured, it's created a solid reality that's frictional. Now this is getting a bit too esoteric. So I want to stop because I don't want to be getting into planets, planetary system and all that stuff. It ain't necessary. It's not helping nobody. So, just a few pointers there. People ask, oh, what can I do for spiritual practice? Do I just sit and meditate? But what do I do? Do I just sit and listen? No, there's no listener. There's no thinker. There is no you. You just have to sit and be. Sometimes you do it inadvertently, which means you don't do it intentionally. When you sat just drinking a tea and some ideas start to come and spawn, it's because you was in a state of nothing, but you didn't realise you was doing it. That's meditation. But I can guarantee you that when you begin to do it, everything relative to your ego will try to attack. But that's just evident and proof that it's working. So do not identify with the attacks. Don't contract them. If they come, them thoughts are not allocated to you only. Don't take it on. Just take it as, okay, that's happening because I'm doing something right. It is an implication you are doing something right. One Sufi Sheikh said, Naqshbandiya, it's called Nurjan, is on YouTube. He's a Sufi master. But he don't claim that, but that's what we perceive it to be. So we, through his knowledge, we must submit because of his station. So he said, something about meditation. Something similar to what I've just said. What was it now? I've lost the thread. Sorry. That happens a lot because I'm not in ego anymore. So everything I speak about is all related. But he said he did say a very good point. A very good point. When you meditate. What was it? Come on. That was it. When he said that, when you think that you're on the right track, like sometimes when you meditate and everything's good, like Western meditate, all these New Age conception of meditation and spiritual practices, this is not orientation and recalibration at all, because there is other realities to this reality and other energies we cannot see. Our retina in our eye is not a recipient